Hey guys, today we're going to be reading the story titled A Little Less Lonely. This is the second lesson for December from the Unique Learning Systems curriculum. We're probably not going to get through all the lessons for December, but that's okay. Sometimes it happens. So let's go ahead and get reading. So, some words we're going to learn from this story are holiday season. So that's the period of time from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. We're kind of right in the midst of holiday season right now because we already had Thanksgiving and now we're kind of gearing up towards Christmas and New Year's. Another word we're going to talk about today is celebrate. So to do something special or fun for an important event. You guys celebrate all the time. We have celebrations at school. So that's a word you should be pretty familiar with. The last word we're going to talk about today is lonely. So that's a feeling of being alone and missing other people. And I'm sure all of us have felt lonely at some point in our life. You know, our parents go to work and we're home alone or just with a sibling when we miss them. We haven't been at school for quite a while now. I bet you guys kind of miss coming here and miss seeing your friends. You might feel a little bit lonely. I know I do. I miss you guys. So that's a word that we can all probably relate to. So, some things to learn from this story is that sometimes you may not be able to celebrate the holidays with your family. I'm kind of going through that right now. Even Thanksgiving, I didn't go, normally I go to two different Thanksgivings on Thanksgiving Day, and I didn't do that. I just cooked Thanksgiving at my house this year, which was kind of different. So sometimes you may not be able to celebrate the holidays with your family because of things like coronavirus or maybe people being sick or just they're doing something else. Sometimes that happens. And you can also help people feel less lonely by sending cards to them. So Jim loves the holidays, but this year his family cannot be together. Jim feels sad. Look at that face. He looks so sad. Both up there in the symbol, sad. So, like Jim, this year I'm not going to be able to celebrate the holidays with my family. So I'm just going to be at my house for Christmas, but we might do some things to make us feel a little less sad. Jim thinks about his grandmother. This holiday, she will be home alone. Jim thinks his grandmother will be lonely. So, just like Jim, my grandparents aren't having anybody over for Christmas or anything like that. So, I bet my grandma and my grandpa are going to feel kind of lonely. Jim has an idea. Jim will send his grandmother a card. This card will make her feel less lonely. So that's something easy that anybody could do, right? You guys all know how to make cards. We've made them many times here at school. So could you think of any person in your family or any of your friends that you might want to send a card to? Jim is happy to do something kind. His grandmother will like the card. He wants to send her more cards. Jim thinks about his cousins. So, do you have cousins? Cousins are people in your family. So, if your mom or your dad has siblings and your mom or your dad, your aunt or your uncles, they have kids, those are your cousins. So, this holiday they will stay home too. They will miss their grandmother too. So, his cousins are also not going to visit their grandmother. So, he kind of thinks about them. Jim has another idea. Jim will ask his cousins to send cards too. The cards will help his grandmother feel loved. So I know I love getting cards in the mail. It's just, you know, the thought that somebody took a little bit of time to think about you and write you a nice message. So it looks like he called up all of his cousins and asked them to write cards for his grandma too. Jim's grandmother calls him. She is happy. She thanks Jim for the cards. See, look how happy she is to receive a card. That's also something that you could do to make somebody feel less lonely. Maybe they give them a phone call. So you could send them a card, and that's a way you don't have to talk to them kind of face to face. You could call them on the phone. My grandma has one of those Google Nest, I think it's called. So it's like a video screen. So you could call her via video on that. And she really, really likes when people do that. So I'll probably do that on Christmas. Jim is happy. So he's got a smile on his face now. His grandmother liked the cards. Sending cards helped Jim's family feel less lonely. So here are some tips that we learned from this story. You can celebrate the holiday season with your family even if you're not together, right? We talked about sending cards. You could drop off gifts. You could call them on the phone. You could video call them. There's lots of different ways that you could celebrate with people even if you're not right together. Sending cards can make people happy. And also giving your time at the holidays is kind. So we talked about this in the other story. You don't always have to give people money or buy people things with money to make them happy. Sometimes even just taking a minute to think about them and to write them a kind note really makes somebody's day. So let's go ahead. We're going to do a quiz about this. So question number 1 says, what is this story about? Was it about holidays, leaves, or maps? Circle the question, or circle the answer you think is correct. So this story was reading about the holidays. So Jim was writing those cards to his grandma for the holiday. Who does Jim think will be lonely? Does he think his puppy will be lonely, his dentist will be lonely, or his grandmother will be lonely? So we talked about he's sending those cards to his grandmother so she'll feel less lonely. So his grandmother is the correct answer. Question number 3. What will Jim send his grandmother? Chocolates, card, or socks? Circle the answer you think is correct. So Jim sends his grandmother a card. Question number 4. Why is Jim happy? He is eating his favorite food, he buys a new pair of jeans, or he did something kind. Circle the answer you think is correct. So Jim does something kind. That's why he feels good. Last question, question number 5. What is important to know about this story? Always follow the rules. Sending cards can make people happy, or study hard if you have to take a test. Circle the answer you think is correct. So sending cards can make people happy.
Sending cards can make people happy.
That's the correct answer. So I hope you guys learned a little bit more about just how you can easily make somebody's day or make them smile. Like I said, some of those things even are just writing them a kind note. You can send people a card, you can call them on the phone, you can video chat with them. People just love to receive things that, let them know that you were thinking a little bit about them. Those are just all kind things. So thank you for watching my video today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.